than legalists.
In the selection?
Absolutely.
Why do you think so?
And you also go to section 54. You will find out that under section 171, the president is not allowed to play politics with those appointments.
What do you mean by politics here?
Politics in the sense that if you look at the go through the cadre of people who are there, they are mostly APC people or apologists. Those who are loyal to him. Now, if you go to 71 section 171 sub 5, to continue in that particular pedestal.
That grace may abound.
So that is the problem now. So
all right,
that is a question we are asking.
Okay, so now that you said this, let me quickly run you on this question about the Bala Tinubu barracks that was inaugurated yesterday.
That's right.
Is it also constitutional? The reason I brought you here is to bring the legal angle to this conversation so that we'll be properly educated, because if we feed people just information without properly enlightening them, they haven't done anything.
You see, the point is any president, governor, as far as you are holding a public office, you are not supposed to embark on a project you are going to benefit personally.
Is that a personal benefit now? Because it's named after him?
You understand the point. The only institution that was able to stand that tide was Bafemi Awolowo University, which is University of Ife. But some of those today who are still going about with the certificates, they will tell you I'm from Ife. They will never say I'm from OAU. They say I'm from Ife. I graduated from Ife. You understand?
Yes, please.
You now begin to ask, Ife, that is OAU. They say, well, it's yes, but mine is Ife. For those of us who also left the then Bender State University.
It's not surprising to me. It's not surprising to me at all. What Barrister is actually to let us know why we are not moving forward. Because, I mean, people are in government. Government is meant to achieve progress, meant to achieve development, meant to achieve a whole lot of things that should move a nation forward. But with the type of politics that we play and the way we've been doing, like he said, doing wrong things and then making them look like they are right, and of course the people have received these kinds of bad act over time. And
bad?
Yes, very bad act, very bad behavior over time, and then the people don't know what the right or wrong things are anymore. You just dish out things to them and they think that's the way it's supposed to be. The things he has said, I know it's really, really baffling. He just mentioned, the illegality in the act, including the naming of the barracks that was newly built, and then they named it after the current president. It's laughable. It's not like this, they don't know, but it's just that they've allowed bad things to happen over time, and then it has become quite a trend, and then they keep following it.
Oh wow!
And we can't develop this way. That's the bulk of the whole.
So you think that this is not moving forward?
No, we can't.
All right, so Prince Francis Chilaka, let me quickly come to you before we move on to other conversations. Now, a lot of people were trending on social media that, oh, wow, what a settlement for Ganduje, from stashing dollar into his pocket to running for winning second term in office, to becoming the chairman of the ruling party, then now to the chairman for FAN. That, oh wow, and that, in fact, some people even said that it shows that Nigeria rewards corruption, and that's why we can move forward.
Nigeria does not only reward corruption, Nigeria rewards mediocrity.
Abba.
Nigeria rewards fraud. Nigeria rewards embezzlement. The only thing that this country does not reward is hard work.
Hey, how?
That's the truth.
Barrister Adams, did you hear what
That's
he
the
said?
truth.
Absolutely. You agree with him?
You see, let me bring it down more. Let me break it down more. Ganduje, we all know Gandola. That's the...
You're on public radio, sir.
No, but it's not me that called him Kandola. That's the name they call him in Kano. Up till tomorrow. Yes. So it's not Chilaka that is manufacturing the name. That's the name people have been calling him. You know, on one side. Now, he's the chairman of APC. He's the chairman of FAN, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Is he resigning from APC as chairman?
Maybe there may be some reshuffling of the
Or
APC,
is it that he's going to hold two positions? Chairman of two positions. Is it that we don't have brains, or we don't have other persons in this country that can be appointed? Why is Mr. President towing the line of mediocrity? Yes.
So
why is Mr. President towing the line? This is the same line that Buhari told, and Nigerians complained and screamed and shouted. Why is this presidency doing the same thing? And then you tell me it's democracy. You tell me, this government believes in the rule of law. You tell me that this government believes in good governance. But are we seeing the dividends? The only dividends we're seeing from this government, tariff, taxes, hunger, poverty, and the fact that Nigerians can no longer walk straight. Yes, Nigerians now bend. Nigerians are crawling. This government is putting a lot of stones, rocks on top of Nigerians. And to crown it all, we have very lopsided appointments going on. It's like Nigeria has become a country for the old. The youths go and commit suicide. All of you should go and die. That's where we are today in this country.
All right, so let's get straight to another conversation very quickly. This Mambila thing, power project thing has been on, and there were lots of statements, and the former president Olusegun Obasanjo was credited saying that he never approved his then Minister of Power to award such a project of $6 billion. As a matter of fact, he said, as a sitting president, he never allowed his ministers to approve any project worth more than 25 million naira. So how come a minister can award a project of $6 billion, which is right now in contention? And the former Minister of Power and Steels, Olu Agunloye, has now responded. He said that Obasanjo is a liar. They're spreading falsehood. And so where do we go from here with this? Understanding that remember this case is currently before the Court of Arbitration in Paris, and that is before the world, showcasing the kind of corruption in Nigeria. Is this not a bit too embarrassing for a country that is already too meddled in such an issue or such a topic of corruption?
That is, I'll try to define and describe what is happening in Nigeria today. I want to start by going to the theologian Dante Alighieri. He wrote a thesis which those in a theological school will understand. He calls it Dante's Inferno. And Dante's Inferno was talking about the 7 layers of hell. You have the Purgatorio, then you have the Paradiso. I have been wondering, because Nigeria is hellish, as some people have described. Every day you pick your newspaper from the newspaper stand, on social media, you see citizens will tell you this is the worst country on earth. And you ask yourself, what exactly is going on? Did Dante, see Nigeria from that angle before he wrote that book, or Nigeria saw?
Sounds familiar.
Familiar, yes, Mario Kuma. So that is what we find ourselves. Nigeria also is faced, with a syndrome that I describe like this, the syndrome of Sisyphus, this situation. Fashola, that was so skilled, and we all know that, he was this and that, was there, he couldn't remediate the situation. Batunaji came. A professor in US who was robotics or whatever as the case may be, he couldn't remedy the power situation. Now you had an Agunloye, whom was chosen because of the fact that we thought he had a tinge of forthrightness, in the sense that he belonged to a cabal that always claimed that they are forthright. They are fighting corruption. And he was placed there. He couldn't do anything. And he was not, swallowed by the miasma and the cesspit of corruption. And $6 billion?
Dollars, sir.
Dollars.
No, naira, sir.
When you calculate $6 billion
Oh, don't go
in any currency, even in the US, you know that the US, when you say $6 billion, Donald Trump will turn 10 times on his seat and say, what do you want to use that for? You're going to be accountable for that. Then the minister, had to, bypass the president according to the story I'm hearing and approve such. So it is an aberration. So I feel that Nigeria is a laughingstock. Do you know that some days or some weeks ago, some of our officials went to testify, outside the country?
Oh, yes,
In
former
this
president.
case,
Even Obasanjo was said to
Obasanjo
have,
was
yes,
there.
sir. And then Muhammad
And
Buhari,
then
former
when can we
president.
bring ourselves out? Are you telling me that even the president or prime minister of Sudan, the president or prime minister of Afghanistan, these are war-torn countries that buccaneers and mercenaries can rule and nobody will blame them. They have not been called to question to come and testify in courts outside their shores for corruption. But Nigeria, we are wallowing in that.
A scapegoat.
A drowning man can hold on to a broomstick floating on the river Niger. It's mesophilic. Only the Philistine carpetbaggers will take his statement with a pinch of salt or maybe a large spoon of salt. The defense that is being provided and fair hearing given to him is that, do you know that the EFCC have come in now under Section 216, 217 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act to prefer new charges against
Him. Ha.
The reason and the essence of those new charges is that maybe when they found out that the charges that were preferred before, they now discovered more whatever.
Chinese companies and all that had the contract, went to court. And then when Goodluck looked at it, he said, okay, court. And then when Goodluck looked at it, he said, okay, you know what? Let me give back the contract the way it used to be again. And re-awarded or, re-agreed on the contract. And then Oga Buhari came back. I said, it did not go. Maybe I wouldn't benefit anything. So he cancelled it again. So why do we keep doing this? I thought government is supposed to be a continuum, because that's exactly what played out in the Ogun State issue that led to the seizure of the Nigerian aircraft.
That's right.
By a Chinese company.
Yes.
Should we keep reneging on already made agreements as a country? Does that not still speak to lack of trust, would that not bring lack of trust, confidence, and speak further about corruption?
Government being a continuum, they will continue. All policies of the predecessors continue. All policies of the predecessors that left the office and the successors will continue with those.
So what does this speak to the image of Nigeria? Would you like to react to that, Mr.
It's
Dennis?
sad.
What does this speak to the image of Nigeria, really?
Okay,
before
so-
the international community?
Look, okay, so we like to. Shame is no longer a word in our dictionary. Okay, because Nigerian politicians prefer to be clothed, okay, with shame. They don't. I'm telling you, they create shame, and then you, the citizen, begin to feel ashamed for on their behalf. They don't care.
This is not too heavy.
I'm telling you, they create a big mess. Now let me paint in support of what she has said, because it's just in alignment. There was a time I said I talked about the difference between politics and governance. And I said normally you're supposed to, when you politic and then your party gets into government, right? You're supposed to leave out politics the way you played it. When you get into governance, then the institutions of government, okay, each that have their act and different powers, that governs them begins to act. Every department and agencies of government, act based on the law that established them. But what happens in Nigeria is that when a particular party gets into government, they will carry the party politics behavior into governance. The vindictiveness, the sitting on a very, very high pedestal. Okay, my party has won. It's all about my party. Being there, anything they do, right or wrong, is right. Because I cannot understand. You just talked about why is there no continuum the way we know it in government, especially in Nigeria. There is no continuum, or there's not going to be, because people that get into government make it look like it's their father's own direct company. And therefore, whatever they do, they don't care about how the people of Nigeria feel. That's why they call it, even when they call it my government, they tend to make it look like whatever they do, they are not interested in any policy decision that their predecessor, took on behalf of the people. For them to look at it, I have suffered that in the past. I remember when Hakim or so, was in a governor in Imo State. One of my dealer friends supplied vehicles to him, and then they were owing him about 15 mil. When the guy left, the next governor that came in, he went to meet him. He asked him, "Do I look like?"
I'm sorry.
But the vehicle is there.
They were using it. They've already used life out of the vehicles. He said, "Do I look like him? Just look at me very well. So if I don't look like him, don't bother me." The guy
Is that not high-handedness?
The guy lost 15 million naira as we speak.
Then.
Yes, then. So what I'm saying is that's how they behave. And that's the more reason why the contract signed by the government, Obasanjo, or whatever that went, on that time, the successive government could not take it up, even when they tried to. Okay? And then, are we now looking at even those who come in? I'm talking that on one side. You know what happened to the PNID, right?
Oh, yes.
Good. So those who come in, try to scheme to put in a contract. It may be all a lie in the first place, just to be able to get Nigerian government to a certain level where they seem to put them in a box, right? And then before you know it, they go to court. These things happen. But if we look at this sunrise, as the case may be, I think it is the same mistakes that Nigerian government people have been making. And then you get to a level where you give them the opportunity to gain advantage over you to be able to go to court.
I have a lot to say about this, because it looks like at some point it looks like we prioritize people from other countries.
We do. Not at some, yeah,
because
we do.
I know somebody who's British who will beat his chest to tell you that he has more contracts in Nigeria. He doesn't live in Nigeria.
We do.
He said he has more contracts in Nigeria than any Nigerian. And that he says, if you go and beat the contracts with your government, they'll prefer me to you because of the color of my skin. He said that to me personally. And I looked at him and said, wow.
People, yes, for them to get contract, they will carry a white person with them. If any minister sees you with a white person, you're good.
Yes.
You're good.
Are you kidding me?
That's
Meanwhile, getting a foreigner to even get a contract in another country is as good as nullifying you from getting the contract.
That's something we're talking about, right?
What is wrong with us?
This
we have a mentality problem.
Exactly. We have a problem. Somebody, I think three years ago, right, ordered pizza from London and put it, send it through Virgin Atlantic. It came in the morning, went to pick it, and I just ordered pizza from London. I'm like, what? What?
You know the status. Nigerians always have that status problem. I am this and that.
It's crazy.
All right, so let's get into politics proper. Then we'll get back to the judiciary. Prince Chilaka, this is to you. So the Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, has fired back at the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, labeling him a transactional politician driven by personal ambition and loyalty. Now, Now, speaking during the media chats in Abuja last Sunday, Wike had blamed certain PDP leaders for the party struggle, citing their actions and rhetoric as contributing to its stagnation. So Bala has now responded to him. There's a lot to talk about this, but this back and forth in PDP, when is it going to end? Because if you ask some people today, they'll tell you, oh, there is also Wike's quest and anger that he could not get the ticket that led to his vengeance to want to destroy the party. Others will say, no, why would Atiku ever want to contest again? So what is going on?
Let me turn into the last conversation.
Okay. Oh, you want to? Okay, I thought we had flogged that too much.
No,
So
you
because we
can't
need to move on.
it.
Oh,
Because we need to ask ourselves, who are those that are demarketing this country? Is it the ordinary Nigerians on the street? Is it the hungry Nigerians that are demarketing this country? Is it the small boys that are doing yahoo yahoo? Even though even though I do not support it, who are the real persons demarketing this country?
but our president has
The
been traveling
class,
to market the country.
Political class,
Yeah.
our leaders, they are in the forefront of demarketing this country.
How?
You're asking me how?
Yes, sir.
How many of your leaders do not have criminal charges on them? Mention them. Within and outside.
Accusation. Someone is guilty until proven.
That is in
Sorry,
Nigeria.
innocent until proven
That
guilty.
is in Nigeria. That is where it works. And that is a that is a loophole that was created in your so-called 1999 constitution. Nigeria is the only country where you get arrested first and then investigation will commence. So when I say that our political class are responsible, and I'll give you an example. A country of 200 and something million with an audio national aircraft. As we sit here,
Are you speaking about the aviation contract
yes,
that the former minister had in Sirika?
As we sit here, nothing has been done about it. The last we heard was he was granted a bail of 500 million, isn't it? Do you know how much was taken out of the coffers of Nigeria for that fraud that was carried out? So when these things happen, let us not make excuses. Let us not throw them under the carpet. Nigeria is a country where there is no continuity in governance. Because, one, the political parties have no ideology. Two, those in the political parties have no ideology, they have no vision. And that's the truth. So everybody is there to take a chunk of the national cake and walk away.
All right, so
now bringing it down to PDP, you and I, whether we like it or not, I'll tell you this for free. Whatever is happening at PDP, I'm sure APC has a hand in it. Yes. Two, I don't understand how a political party will be. You have a member, you have your strong member or your member who is doing anti-party, and not one person has seen anything wrong in it.
Hey, but he wrote them when he got the appointment. My people can't
Let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth. If not because Wike is I'll call him the major financier of PDP. If he was an ordinary member of PDP, by now they have putted him out. Also, don't forget that the current National Working Committee of PDP are all Wike stooges. Yes. Who removed Secondus? Was Wike. Who brought Damagu? It's Wike. Most of those in most of those in the working committee today are loyal to Wike. So how do you take him out? And how do you think that a house divided amongst itself will survive?
Okay, so that means we don't have a major opposition party then. That's what it means, right?
We don't.
Okay, all right. So let me get back to you, Barrister Sim Adams. Now, since the move by the House of Representatives to decentralize the Supreme Court of Nigeria became a public knowledge, Nigerians, particularly those in legal professions, have been pouring accolades on the lawmakers for thinking along that line, as it were. So do you think that decentralizing the Supreme Court is a way forward, where you have different regions, South Supreme Court, for instance, the Southeast Supreme Court? Do you think is a way forward? Would it change the? Sorry, attitude, sorry, behavior, would it change the content of the court itself, the contents, if we distribute the containers? That's just an analogy.
It will only decongest and give less jobs to the main, that is the Federal Supreme Court. But in terms of corruption, it's not going to add or do any value to it.
Are you certain that there's corruption in the Supreme Court?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, you're a legal practitioner, you're
Yes,
a lawyer.
Of course, I am. Corruption permeates, our system. If you go to the medical profession, you have corrupt doctors there. Engineering, you have corrupt doctors. Those who build, you have corrupt people.
So why is the case of the judiciary different?
So why is the case of the judiciary different? Those people who are made judges are not spirits. They are Nigerians from the same society. If the moral fabric of the nation has gone awry, then you are bound to produce, leaders with, weak moral foundation. Most of the judges we have, some of them are from broken homes. They are human beings. Some of them were in the secondary school, universities. They had bad characters, behavioral patterns. But how do we get these people out? That is the problem. Now, if you like decentralize, you are only going to only decentralize corruption.
Hey.
The only thing that is
you could just spread the corruption.
You are going to spread it.
Hey.
You understand? It go viral. Until we have what they call ethical revolution in the judiciary, then we are going to be battling with this systemic corruption. I remember when I was about to write my WASC in 1982. My own father told me, go and purchase past questions of Wike and read so that you can use that to study. I ran into an essay, composition, they call it then. It was an old paper, Wike paper of 1978. The first question there that, 40 marks. Nigeria corruption has eaten deep into the fabrics of the nation called Nigeria. Discourse.
Since 1978.
I'm telling you, I was to write my WAEC or WASC as it called in 1982. So I ran into a WAEC question in 1978. Corruption is a cankerworm that's eating deep into the fabrics of the nation called Nigeria.
How can we stop this?
Discourse. You know what? I didn't understand what corruption was as at that time. I was reading about corruption, but corruption was a cankerworm. And
which kind of worm coin takes a corruption?
And almost at the same time, Professor Ali Mazrouil, Professor Emeritus of History and a man who is doing a lot of documentaries.
Ali Mazrouil, yeah.
Yes, he visited Nigeria, part of what he was to go and do his documentary in Africa. He said, Africa, especially Nigeria, is a garden of Eden in decay.
Oh, Father Lord.
And what has caused the decay is corruption. So, the judicature, there is corruption. Let us not pretend about it. But I dare say that not all judges are corrupt. We have some fine ones, but the system does not reward them. The reward system, if you check through the social media, you go through the audio and visual, whatever, you see they say they have given him 5 million naira because he did one thing that, and 2-bedroom apartment. But nobody will look at a judge who has distinguished himself as a civil servant, not being corrupt. He stood his ground. I have a lot of them as friends and mentors. But today, they are wallowing in poverty because the system has not rewarded them.
So do you agree with Prince Francis Chilaka when he says that the only thing that Nigeria does not reward is hard work?
It's hard work. And if you want to reward meritocracy, look at the national honors list, for instance. What are the names you're going to see there? You're going to see funny characters, mendacious Homo sapiens, Philistine carpetbaggers, mesophilic buccaneers, traducers, those who are conman artists.
Ew.
You're going to see them on the list with due respect. You can never see a judge who has been upright and forthright. We know them. We recommended them. You never see retired to be on the list.
Ew.
So what talking about corruption? So coming back to the issue of decentralization of the Supreme, Section 233, talks about the jurisdiction of the Nigerian Supreme Court. Original jurisdiction by right is appeal from the Court of Appeal direct to the Supreme Court. And other whatever as the case may be. So a high court, you can't from the high court go to the Supreme Court. That is an anathema. Article 12, subsection 2 of the United States Constitution, America, we tailored our democracy after, is at variance and diametrically opposed to what we have in operation in Nigeria today. Why? I can on my own, when I feel as a lawyer that there's a matter bordering on constitution, I go to Supreme Court, SCOTUS in America, as the first court where we file my applications. That is why the matter will spend 3, 4, 5 years. That is why the matter will spend 3, 4, 5 years. There are matters, and if you take an appeal from the appellate court to the Supreme Court, for you to even get a date, you're going to see foul go almost peace. I'm sorry I have to use that street language. It is easier for the head of the camel to pass through the eye of the needle for you to get your matter heard immediately at the Supreme Court. There are, you see, cases that the Supreme Court decide that are not political cases. You hear that the matter has been there since 8 years.
Hey. So are you saying, going back to political cases
Yes.
now, are you saying that if Nigeria were America were Nigeria, be Nigeria
Yes.
were America,
Yes.
that for instance, the case that Atiku Abubakar brought up against Bala Ahmed Tinubu,
Yes.
in terms of the certification in Chicago and
They-
all of that,
they-
they wouldn't have said that, oh, it's too late for you to bring this.
they
They would have attended to
they go
it.
to
It would have been in that Supreme Court would have attended and said,
Decide it.
it.
Within 3 days.
And
or
not
4
say
days.
that it is too late. It was brought too
Within
late.
3
That's
days,
why.
the Supreme Court will decide. That is why you
Hey.
see the American Supreme Court, they don't sit every day. Nigerian Supreme Court sit every day.
Doing what, sir?
They are attending to cases. Some cases of 2001. Appeals of 2001. They are still there. You understand? So when you throw your appeal from appeal court to Supreme Court, you have to wait. You have to take your pillow and your small sleeping mat, and you have to be there. So now, on the side of decentralizing Supreme Court, I agree with them, but it's not going to stem corruption. But in terms of workload, it's going to be, for instance,
To share the workload.
yes,
Okay.
to share workload is going to be very wonderful. For instance,
So, but would that not create speed?
see, it might create speed if you can remove corruption and those bottlenecks.
But you just said that it will
Because-
only share and spread corruption.
Yes,
to
they
them.
will share it, but in terms of workload, it's going to reduce it.
Okay.
But it's not going to reduce corruption. That is workload 90 cents. Let me tell you this. Are you aware? I bought a land in Lagos here. I will now go to Abuja. I have a case about land, High Court in Lagos, Court of Appeal, then go to Abuja to go and settle land matter that is in Lagos here. I have a divorce matter, husband and wife matter that we should be disposed of in Lagos here. You go to Abuja, Supreme Court, Husband and wife who have separated for years, they are waiting for Supreme Court to give final verdict. They come back again and reunite and forget Supreme Court matter. Because of the fact that we don't have that regional Supreme Court. If we had regional Supreme Court, for instance, then those matters in Lagos here we end at the Western, the Nigeria Supreme Court. You don't need to carry divorce matter to Supreme Court and crowd the cost list of the judges there. What is the problem that land matter in Ekiti? The judge who is delivering judgment has never gone to Ekiti. He does not even know any time in Ekiti. He's on the southeast or he's on the northern part of Nigeria. He's coming to adjudicate on traditional matters that is not part of his own tradition. So decentralization in that regard will decongest the cost list. Not all matters should go to the Supreme Court, but every matter in Nigeria here goes to the Supreme Court. A matter of mere contracts about 10 million naira. The value of that contract was 10 million naira ago, some years ago. By the time the matter is being decided by Supreme Court, the value of that money is about 100 million naira because of inflation. So what is that matter going to do there? You go to regional Supreme Court, let it end there. Election matters, for instance. I don't know exactly why they even set up go to Supreme Court direct. Because it's a matter of constitution. Go to Supreme Court direct. Don't even go to tribunal. Don't do whatever the case may be. So if I have a Western region Supreme Court, for instance, in this area, I know that is where my appeal will end, and that matter ends there. The only matter that will go to the Federal Supreme Court are matters that borders on life.
But how do we get to the point?
National Assembly.
Okay, sir.
That is why the National Assembly are not proud. Let me tell you, the National Assembly we have today is Methuselah National Assembly. is a National Assembly that is an Obiageli kind of National Assembly.
What do you mean by Obiageli, sir?
They come in to eat and go back.
Hey.
They don't work with the modern contemporary trends of lawmaking. All these are things they need to, move motions and, make Nigeria a state and a country that will work. They have the right. If they amend that section 233 of the 1999 Constitution right now, to say, no, this Federal Supreme Court, let us have 8 or 6 zonal Supreme Court. Matters on contract end at your zonal Supreme Court. Matters on divorce, zonal Supreme Court. Matters on lands and whatever, zonal Supreme Court. The only matter that can, move from Ekiti High Court to appeal and to our Supreme Court here is matter that borders on life. Because if I don't take it there, there's a mistake at the lower court. And if I don't take to Supreme Court to quash that, a life is going to be lost.
Okay.
That is the only thing I feel. And you see that the judges will be very happy at the Supreme Court because their tables and plates will be decongested. So
don't you think that it's because, the comparison you made between Nigeria law and the American law, don't you think that it's because clearly there is, disparity or differences in the law? For instance, in America, someone who is convicted and who has served the sentence can come back and contest for election, can they? But in Nigeria, is it like that? So
the reason why you see Nigeria now, we copied the American Constitution.
But
and their democracy.
But their constitution is constantly amended.
You know why? It's just like your Bible. I have a Bible in my house. It's even on top of my bed. I don't even read it. But one day, one pastor will just say, go to Proverbs 12 and 11. He quotes one thing, I rush to the Bible. That is when I know that I have a Bible there. But in the US, the Constitution is a working document for every human being citizen that is walking the street.
The citizens understand their law.
They see, the citizens have this. The reason is not far-fetched. How many pages? Your Constitution is by 1,000 pages.
Chai.
When you have everything. So you keep it like the Bible.
You don't read
it is only when police arrest you now say, okay, remember that section 36 operates. That is the difference. It's a difference of mental problem that we have here. And until and unless, not just copying what we want as democratic, whatever, let us follow the tenets and imbibe and do sensitization. Ethical revolution is what Nigeria needs to do. Nigeria is not a bad country. Nigeria is one of the most, or let me use the word, sweetest countries on earth. Call any of your relation in any part of the world. You are driving around the street, you see young men drinking alcohol on the road with bare chests, with their shirts, hung on their shoulders, moving around. Nobody is disturbing them.
We too like life.
Because there's freedom. But you travel, go to Egypt and do that. You'll be in jail and be calling your people.
All right, thank you, Barrister Sim. All right, like phone lines are open.
Before you open your... Come on down.
Okay, sir.
The barrister raised a very pertinent issue. I don't think it's only the Supreme Court that needs to be decentralized. Yes. Our policing, our security architecture needs to be overhauled and decentralized. Have you ever thought about it? If you have somebody who is a proper indigene of Anambra State as the commissioner of police in Anambra State, don't you think that will curtail the crime rate in Anambra State?
Everywhere.
Why would you bring somebody all the way from Sokoto who does not understand the terrain, the language, the culture, the tradition of the people of Anambra, and you make him commissioner of police? And then you now expect the indigenes who are now corporal, sergeant, to be the one to move, show him around. And you believe that he'll be productive. 2, the document you people call constitution, for me, that document is garbage.
Sorry, sir. Is that constitution?
It is your constitution. I was not part of those when they said, we the Nigerian people. I was not part of it. For me, that document is nothing but military decrees
but
put together.
Is it not we? Sorry, you people, the Nigerian people.
I was not there.
He is saying the truth.
I was not there.
But what we are saying, the only thing I've answered when I hear things like this is this. I look at one anonymous, quote I have. He said, if a man waits for everything to be perfect before he acts, he will die old, having never achieved anything at all. So when you wait for perfect constitution to come into play, we may not have a
No, barrister, I am not waiting for a perfect constitution. All I'm saying is simple.
Jonathan
administration gave us something that was close to a perfect constitution. Something that was close to what Nigerians...
Perfect constitution or perfect interpretation?
No, something that was close to what Nigerians wanted. That was what Jonathan administration gave us.
He's saying
why would it want to use it?
It was close. But I want to tell you that there is...
Are you talking about the confab?
Yes.
Oh.
2004.
The confab report. That they said confab.
Okay. Even the confab, I want to say with your respect, that even those people who were selected, they were not elected.
Yes.
They were selected.
They were not elected by the different regions.
Yes, they were selected.
Yes.
We were against them because they will go there and not represent our interests. So even the confab as it is was, even though it was okay by Nigeria, whatever, but it was a confab that was not done by a plebiscite.
By plebiscite, you mean, sir?
Yes, a plebiscite or a referendum.
Okay.
For the people. For instance, I put it to anybody here listening to me and those of us in the studio who represented your constituency.
I don't know if you remember, sir.
Me, I don't know my own.
No, but
I don't know that.
But barrister,
they were fighting.
You understand also
I understand what
that we
saying.
have a very big problem with this 1999 document.
Yes.
The Nigerian Constitution has continuously avoided that word referendum.
Good. Do you know that? No, there's a referendum in the 1999 Constitution, but it's Section 68, recall of your House of Assembly and.
So now only that time that I'm gonna get referendum.
That is. House of
Assembly. We feel like say we not like what's in the apple, we don't go get referendum.
Can you throw me a copy of the Constitution? You go to Section 68 or something. It talks about referendum. If you want to recall my own man who is representing me at the Senate, House of Reps, there are procedures. One of the procedures is a referendum. The question we now ask is this: if you now have a referendum in Section 68, then what exactly are you talking about Nigeria being indissoluble and indissolvable?
Exactly.
Now, if you talk about, like, I agree with my brother here, the Nigeria Constitution has been dismembered and lobotomized.
Oh, that is, they don't cut them half.
They don't cut it, it's been lobotomized.
Hey.
Now, can you imagine Section 2, Section 3, Section 10 talks about Nigeria being a secular state, that no state shall practice any religion. But as I speak to you, why is Sharia?
Religion has taken over.
Why is Sharia? Why do you still say in the same constitution, Section 270 something, you go down there, you see Sharia is recognized in that same constitution. The name of Islam mentioned about 75 times. But the name Christianity never mentioned in that constitution.
Wow. So
The
that means
name of Grand Cadi is mentioned about 38 times. The name of canon or reverend
the
Never
pastor
mentioned.
said.
never mentioned. Section 55 also is talking about that Nigeria, the National Assembly can conduct, their proceedings in the three languages, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. I'm asking myself, you have excluded me, a minority within a minority. So if, for instance,
Me that I am
so
a Rivers
those
woman
of
now.
us from River State and from the South,
They've been insulting me. They say I don't want to accept that I'm an
once
Igbo
they
woman.
accept, Section 55, once they accept to conduct in Igbo, the all of us will be looking at them and say we'll be clapping when they clap. You understand? So,
Let me quickly add this.
Yes.
It appears that people from Edo, you
Yes.
people have your language that is.
No,
you like to use.
we are organic. We are
But I
organic.
just say doesn't have just one language. That's
No,
the
no,
problem.
I know.
Doesn't even have just one language.
I'm talking of the kind of English languages you like to use.
Oh no, forget about Barrister. No. But when I said, remember when I was introducing him, I said he's an astute lawyer. You should know.
Absolutely,
You should know.
We play with Edo. Edo State is a very unique state.
Are you saying this because of Patrick? Or, okay. Oh, you would have the stray bullets just reach you, okay?
So these are the things. So round up all this so I don't waste or eat it to your time.
Okay, sir.
Now look at your constitution. Look at your constitution. Section 299 describing the state of Abuja, FCT, that created that problem. Is Abuja a state, FCT a state, or whatever as the case may be? Say Abuja should be treated as a state.
But is that
It's in the constitution, so is that not confusion?
So Abuja should actually have a
You
governor.
understand? Now you go to section, if you go to section 214 you refer to, which is the police, whatever command. You now move further to section 217, 217, that talks about the military. And you go to that constitution that gives powers to the president. The president of your nation can act militarily by giving an executive order to the chief of army staff. That is why you see this convoy of deadly missiles moving to the southeastern part of Nigeria to quell supposedly, they call it Eastern, whatever as the case may be.
Eastern Network.
But why do we not have that in the north?
That is the reason. That is the question because of the operational problems.
A
lot of see, if we raise these issues, I don't want to talk as if I'm inciting people.
No, it's not inciting. We're educating people.
But we are trying to tell the Nigerian people to look at it and move. Are you aware also that in your constitution section, that is chapter, see, anybody that wants to become local government chairman, that wants to become governor, that wants to become president, chapter 2 of the 1999 constitution should be his Bible. The only section they know is section 162 that talks about how to share money. Every governor, dead and alive, knows section 62 from subsection 1 to the last. But section 14 sub 2b that talks about welfare and security, they don't know anything about it. Do you know that what we are facing today, the miasma that is in Nigeria today, the economic holocaust that we are experiencing in Nigeria today, that the middle class has been wiped out
Completely.
is because of the fact that we don't practice constitutional democracy. But we have it. Section 15, section 16 talks about 16.3 is saying that the president, the governor, should work the economy to the happiness. The word happiness is expressly used in capital letters in that constitution.
That means to the comfort.
So the comfort, happiness, that's the word they use, the happiness. You have to tinker with the economy.
In a way that everybody will be happy.
That will be happy.
So that means the president is not making a lot of
Which
people happy now.
means what happens now? You have to invoke some sections. If we were to put in a parliamentary system of government, by now those in government will do what? Resign, and a new government will be installed. Just
Because they have not made people happy.
Nice.
Majority of Nigerians
a lot of them, a lot of those things are there.
When
did you say it is in the constitution again? Let Nigerians know.
Precious, when I tell you guys here most times that document is obnoxious,
Yeah,
that
I agree
document
with you.
should be discarded, that document should be burned. People think we're just saying it because we probably don't like the document. No. The document, nobody talks about the social contract in that document.
Yeah.
Nobody. Not even your leaders.
Yeah, correct.
Not even any of our leaders have said, this is the social contract we have with Nigerians. I've also advocated severally. From primary school, let us start to teach the Constitution to the people, to the
So
children.
there should be a course.
From
Nigerian
in the
constitution.
churches, the pastor should have a way of, allowing the members to understand the Constitution. But no, Constitution in Nigeria is treated like a document solely meant for lawyers. And not many lawyers understand and can interpret the Constitution.
Hey,
So,
Lagos, phone lines are
section,
open. Hey.
section 41, section 42, section 43. I'm just, because of time. Why will a constitution encourage people to take my property that the land my own father gave to me, I inherited?
They say government has all the
Then
land. now.
government says they want to do, they just demolish my house I built with how much? And at the end of the day, they pay you, they say compensation. They didn't say adequate, they say they pay compensation. Now, which
So that means it's whatever they like.
whatever,
they pay.
and that is what is happening. That is what
Irrespective of the value
look at
of the land.
Lekki. Look at Lekki today.
I wanted to say the CPM.
Look at
the CPM,
Lekki today.
The
Use the
CPM
old
case,
man
the
of-
OPM,
Yes.
the OPM case.
Yes.
In
Look at Lekki today. Governors, the government bulldozers will just go. You see the man building that, whatever the case may be, Mr. Government. You were there because the house was not built overnight. You were there when they were sinking the foundation, and after the man has done it to the 10th level, painted, people are not staying there. You come in there and displace the
Are you saying that in
inhabitants.
an ideal society it won't happen?
It will never happen.
Even though they obstructed waterways.
You cannot even obstruct waterways
Oh.
in the first instance, because immediately they will tell you, come on, you can't go there. They will take it up. The reason is because government do sleep on their right. There's so coalitions and acquiescence for lawyers who are listening. Because government sleep on their right. Now, if this particular property, I'm the owner and you are building and whatever the case may be, I'm supposed to come in there and challenge you and say you can't do this from the beginning. But the government will allow you to erect edifices there, spending billions. Then they now wake up from their sleep to say that place is a waterway, they demolish. Or they now realize that, a road is going to pass through, they bring down a building. You saw what happened to this
Landmark.
The landmark.
Yes, please, sir.
Is there no way you can circumvent? Is there no way you can go around for an edifice that
It's already
existing, employing about 30,000 people
Attracting tourism to the country.
to the country? You went in and demolished. In Edo State, one governor came and demolished a shrine that was older than his great-grandfather because he wants to do a 2-kilometer road. And now ask the question, where will our children now know that I was born here and my great-great-great-grandfather was born here. The white people, as we call them, they will tell you that they know their great-great came from Scottish or Scotland.
Yes.
But some of them,
They follow their genealogy.
Yes, but some of us, we don't know where we are from. We only know our grandfather.
That is now they end.
You understand? Who born your grandfather? You say, and the man, one guy grow beards, it becomes something. So there's a systemic problem in the Nigerian nation.
All right, Lagos phone lines are open. I know you can't wait to jump in on the conversation. 0700 903 903 903 0817 175 6338 0803 692 9933 0803 692 9933 0817 175 6338 and 0700 903 903 903. Let me run through the hot topics that we have again tonight very quickly. Simon Ekpa's arrest well deserved, Tinubu tells Finland envoy. And also in the news, President Tinubu inaugurates new army barracks, commits troops to welfare. The new army barracks name is Bola Ahmed Tinubu Barracks. Wike transactional politician Bala Mohammed fires back at the FCT minister. Tariff hike, telecom subscribers kick against NLC's proposed strike. And then we also have the story about Nigeria makes case for UN Security Council seat at World Economic Forum. I wanted us to chime in on that, but there's no time. Pensioners beg Tinubu's government, Eda Akwo, Tinubu, please pay us our accrued rights and increments. That's what they do, and they did rather. Supreme Court, Nigerian lawyers take stand on proposed decentralization. And we also told you the Mambila power project, Obasanjo spreading falsehood. Agun Loye, former minister of power, says so. Tinubu names Ganduje, Afiko Yomi, Magnus Abe, others, board chairman. Lagos phone lines are open as we get to take your calls. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, welcome. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel, also known as AKA DJ.
You're welcome. Emmanuel, very quickly, if possible, 30 seconds. We don't have time today.
Okay, please, I want to say thank you for the baristas in the house. They have educated us very much.
It's only one barrister. The other ones are not baristas. Yes, sir.
Okay, but you people are doing a great job. You see this evening, I wish we going to have you people like this in this studio every day. I have learned a lot of things this evening. And I say, may God strengthen you people in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, Precious. Good
Sir,
evening.
welcome.
Yeah, Mr.
No, we don't have script. Okay.
Yes, I just
Go
thank
ahead.
my Nigerians. That is the Nigerians are thinking about us, the poor Nigerians. Those of them inside studio with you now, they are really Nigerian. They are the people that represent us. To say, may God control to strengthen them and keep them alive. Let them control to speak this truth to the hearing of the poor Nigerians.
Thank you.
No other person that will speak this type of thing than them. Every other person that is in that Abuja or in other places, they are only.
Oh, that's thing that you want to say.
They are speaking for us. Please. Bring them back again. Let them continue. May God bless
Will
you.
Will you pay their transport? Will you pay their transport? All right. Good evening. All right. So to the phone lines again is 0803 692 9933. The WhatsApp is 0817 175 6338. And the other phone line is 0700 903 903 903. Right, 0700 903 for 90.3, 90.3, 90.3. That's what it is. Just so we can rush some calls very quickly. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Precious.
Sir?
Good evening.
Welcome, sir.
Precious.
Sir?
About the 50% telco. Hey, I don't believe in that. But we can raise this tariff just a little bit up, just like 15%, so that they can buy their normal diesel and fuel. So what I want to tell you, every end of the year they will declare billions of naira after tax. So what are we trying to say? And Precious,
sir,
telecom industry is my line. There is a button I will press with 50-50 kobo. The telco will gain
billions of naira. If you doubt it, call me in the studio. I will explain it to you.
Where your number?
Yes,
where you get? Wait, make I find them.
for
Take them
you.
down.
So they should stop demanding for 50%. That 50% is too much. Joe from Bariga. Good night.
Joe, find me in my social media. Anywhere you can find me and come and explain this thing to me.
I will do it. I will show you the
find me. Follow me like your village people. Anywhere you can find me, please. I'm interested in this. So
in 1 hour, they will make billions of naira.
I am interested. Please find me anywhere you know you can get me, and please,
Okay,
I am interested in this. Thank you, Joe.
I will do that.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, wow. Who doesn't want information? Hello, good evening, and welcome. Hello. We don't have time for call drops. All right. Hello, good evening, and welcome. Hello. Hello, good evening. All right. All right, so let's quickly take some messages. My message box is so full. Let's see where we can begin very quickly. Charles says, this late call... Oh, you guys should forget about it, please. I told you we're, sorting out some technical issues. Please. All right. And then this here says, Tinubu's achievement so far are the appointment of people from Southwest and members of APC. That's all that he's done. And that's what Leo from Lagos said. And Robert says that, Madam Precious, please call the station phone number slowly. I haven't called the station once. Oh, it is 0803 692 9933. In fact, if you just remember that, then WhatsApp is 0817 175 6338. Sorry, no vex. Which way Nigeria? First, Bola Tinubu Polytechnic, Abuja. Next, Bola Tinubu Barak. Nigeria will still name after. Nigeria may be named Federal Republic of. Emmanuel, calm down. His Royal Highness BC Mwoko says Nigeria will continue to be laughing stock until citizens realize the need to say no to the deep slavery these so-called politicians have put us into. It's really sad, Precious. No, call my name for the sadness. So, well done, thank you. Mayor from Ekoto says, I can never be surprised for what Tinubu is doing today because he told the whole world that he will continue from where Buhari stopped. So that is what is nice about. He told us that he's turned to rule, and he also told some people that he bought the presidency with his money. Okay. KC then says VOP, thank God is another evening. It's very unfortunate that the masses of this nation continue to live outside hope under this administration. The head who promised to continue from where the predecessor stopped have not only done that, but have succeeded him in inventing his own. There is Adams. You don't want to hear those messages. Good evening, Precious. My name is Ahmed from Mazamaza. He says, my ear don't burst because of your guest English. Tell him to take a meeting with us. Auntie Precious, your guests are so educating, learning every day from your show. But tell lawyer in studio this night to take it easy on us with grammar. I don't use dictionary. I can't skip the ones I use. Joel from Alaba International Market says, I have learned a lot through your program tonight, and I love the set of gentlemen you have in the studio. Thank you so much. And Akaniro Kingsley says, on the issue of continuity, I disagree with you all in the studio that Nigeria governance is of continuity. Please, never forget in a hurry of President Tinubu's statement that he will continue from where...
I knew
that's the worst sarcasm, man.
Why are you people like this now? Okay, and then Odibo, Grandma Maggie Odibo says, greetings to you, my highly and exalted guest. I greet you, my dear Sister Precious. This is a night to remember in your tonight's episode. So, Grandma then says, you never told us we're in for lectures on a true and reality of our stands and existence. So this man is for real. Oh. Where did you keep him all this while? By Adams, they don't know. God bless them all for the in-depth revelations. So, and my thanks to the you say my thanks and do have a beautiful weekend to all of you. Thank you. And Amechi from Afoluku says, Prince Chilaka Ekene and our special guest Barrister Adams. What a wonderful night. Precious, thanks for bringing this wonderful legal expert. We are really educated. Any day Nigeria shows determination to fight and reduce corruption, Nigeria will be the best place to be. Do you agree with that?
Definitely.
Oh, of course. Okay.
I mean, it's something we all agree with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Who's this now? Nobody would tell you about any social contract or your right to the law in the Constitution if you as a citizen choose not to read about it. I keep saying even if you change the Nigerian Constitution, it wouldn't change anything because the mentality of the citizens and politicians remains same regardless. Well, he said so. Tai sent in that.
I agree with that.
Oh, you agree with that?
Oh yeah. The self of an average Nigerian is so messed up and corrupt. Corruption is from the inside. It's not from me.
It is not in my inside.
No.
See, that's thing I didn't like to hear.
Listen,
it is not in my inside.
People see good things and decide to do the wrong things. Okay? I mean, like.
No, Eken, I think I would totally want to disagree with you. People don't see the good things and decide to do the wrong thing. People see the good things and decide to do the wrong thing because the head is doing the wrong thing.
Oh yeah. Or maybe because again the head is doing the wrong thing. That's you're not learning from the head, but maybe because the institutions are supposed to punish you for wrong things and are working.
It's the same
Because
thing.
I mean,
who is in charge?
everybody is looking at presidency, but if institutions are working, look at Donald Trump, right?
Yes.
This child birthright.
Yes.
22 states have taken him to court.
A judge has just put a
thrown
wedge
it
on
out.
that.
But he has appealed.
No. At least put a wedge on that.
Yes.
If it's in Nigeria, it wouldn't happen.
No
That's
judge
what I'm
will do
saying.
that.
Institutions
No
have to
judge
work.
can come against the president in
Institutions
Nigeria.
have to work. If police have all their powers and should work outside of, that's why I talked about the difference between the way we politic and how governance should be. People carry politics into governance. It's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's why they kind of hound them or put them in a box. I mean, those institutions are supposed to work. Everybody is looking at the body language of the president, okay, to be able to function. Because if you don't do that, the president can decide to seize your own budget.
But Barrister, I'm speaking about the body language of the president. Let's take a look at this thing.
The body language
of the president, just what he mentioned, because there was a contentious issue. One of the episodes of my show in the past, where I invited the former deputy director of the DSS, Dennis Amakre from my dear River State, you know him.
Yes, I
and
do.
then and he did say something about
The body language.
the body language of presidents. He said that they, as the DSS, do not have the right to free a person even when the court has freed him.
Exactly.
Like the Nnamdi Kanu's case that time.
Yes.
That they don't have to. Then when the court has said, okay, go free, your discharge and acquitted,
go back.
that they will not have to wait for, oh God, this could finally free him. I'm no free him.
It's like
So
that.
is this also in line with our constitution? Because
No.
he said that the constitution mandates them to work for the president. That's the way they work.
It's not.
They work directly with the president.
You know,
So if that is the case, that means they have to,
is-
adhere.
I couched it like,
Yes.
the Nigerian system is quite pyramidal. I said that before.
Pyramidal, yeah.
Exactly. So everything waters down from top to bottom.
Yes.
If the president does not accept anything he's not interested in, right? If he's interested in that thing, forget it. Everybody will just look at his body language.
All right, so Barrister Asim Adams,
Let me tell you.
that, okay.
Let me tell you first of all before I answer your question, so that I don't forget this.
Okay.
Do you know that many of us must go and read Chinua Achebe's The Problem with Nigeria?
Hey.
Do you know when he wrote that book? The Problem with Nigeria was one of those, novels or books he wrote with things fall apart. The Problem with Nigeria, Chinua Achebe listed those problems as far back as, you understand?
And
That
they
was-
still exist.
And they still exist. He named corruption, number one. You understand? Nepotism. They are still there
As far
today.
back.
As far back. That is why he was never happy with the country called Nigeria.
And that's why he refused to take a national honors.
And that is the reason he refused to take national honor. Now, there was a country. The problem with Nigeria, go and read it. It's not up to how many pages. Read it, you see that there were people who saw this thing coming today.
All right, so going back to that case of the DSS or the EFCC or anybody going to...
Yes.
So why should those
There is
law
something-
enforcement agencies
there-
obey the body language of the president
there is-
before they obey the law?
There is a fundamentally significant statement that Chilaka, my brother here, made today. I almost, shed a tear. How? He said, in Nigeria today, is the only country in the world where they arrest before investigation. You made that statement. And that is true. Section 36 sub 5 says that they call it presumption of innocence. A man who is presumed innocent is in prison today, what we call awaiting trial. A lady who is presumed innocent until the contrary is proved. Those who are supposed to prove the contrary, that he's not innocent, have kept him in the correctional center. I was at Kirikiri yesterday.
I think that's when I called you. You mentioned.
Yes,
yeah.
I saw life on the other side, and I asked myself. I said no. I hit myself. I said no. I am going to work in Lagos for some time with Lawyers Without Borders.
I'm interested to push your cause, please, sir.
Yes.
I want to work with you as well.
Good. We are going to work with Lawyers Without Borders at Ogba Magistrate Court. They are there. And I want to work with people, good conscience people, nature people, to release and work to get people out of dungeon. Because let me tell you, Guantanamo Bay ought to be like an Alcatraz.
Yes.
The most deadly.
Because it's the deadliest and the zenith of correctional centers.
I am telling you that the Kiri and these correctional centers all over Nigeria scattered are called gulags.
They're worse than Guantanamo Bay?
Yes. The Guantanamo Bay prison, when you see inmates there, they eat, they do everything normally. But in our correctional centers, if you don't have a strong heart, don't go there to visit inmates. You will cry. And when I was trying to, talk with one or two of them, I found out that what brought them there was not supposed to be.
And they have stayed for so long.
Some 2 years, some 3 years. The system, those at the correctional center will say, we know it is not our own is to keep them.
But why can't we change this? Politicians
The reason why we cannot change
day.
it, the reason why we cannot change it is because you and I have refused to do something. Change does not just happen. Let you and I begin with that change from our family, from this studio today. And when we do something and people recognize it, others will replicate it wherever they go to. Precious, I want to network with you and Chilaka and my brother. There are some other well-meaning Nigerians in Lagos here.
I will do that
We have
any
to work
level that I can. Trust me.
get people out. If it's 2, 3, we can in a year because of the laborious procedural processes of getting them out.
But why should it be so?
The reason is because of what the DSS man told you, that go home and sin no more. But they'll say, remain here, your sins will kill you.
So see the case, for instance, see the case of Speed Darlington and Burna Boy, for instance, where
Criminal. See, what is criminal?
Where Speed Darlington is alleging that Burna Boy used the police to keep him perpetually.
What is criminal? What is criminal about defamation? In fact, Lagos State, I'm even surprised that this is it in Lagos State. Where is the guy?
The defamation happened in Lagos State, and the arrest and everything happened in Lagos State.
Criminal defamation, is it in their laws in Lagos State?
It was in Ekiti State. We happened.
They brought him from wherever. So why do you even Femi Falana, the fabled and legendary lawyer, has fought criminal defamation? That was when very dark man defamed the family, allegedly. He had the powers, he had everything to criminalize and go to any court.
But he didn't.
But he did not do that. He didn't do that. Because defamation is against the conscience. In Nigeria today, we eat, drink, and talk about insult. We insult each other. You see?
So is that not abuse of power?
It's abuse of power.
So that means Burna Boy outrightly abused. Use the police to abuse.
You are entering a bus. The man will tell you, say, I'm sorry, I'm using it only. It's a joking this thing, but you are not. So why criminalize? If you criminalize defamation, it means all of us will be in.
That means at the end of the day, every woman in Nigeria is an A-word.
Do you understand?
The first thing they insult you is that
So that is the problem we have. So Precious, you see, the DSS man who was there said, release Nnamdi Kanu. Now, when a court released the Al-Qaeda man that was arrested, and the court said, go home and see no more. The fallen from the courtroom,
You don't work.
he don't go. But here, they'll put you in that Black Maria back to that court and say they are waiting for a prison correctional whatever to come and sign. That man will not pick a phone and say, let me call whoever that is there. That is what is happening in Nnamdi Kanu's case.
Hey.
Because it's only in Nigeria. I was at the police station, one of the police stations in Lagos State. I called a policeman and said, why do you, it's only in zoo that you keep people inside behind bars and you chain them. Why are you people keeping these people here? I ask a question, why should a police station be a ground and place where you keep people inside cell? You call it cell.
And you chain them.
You chain them. They can't come out. They cannot bath. So what kind of labor, in fact, I like the words to describe this. Even in Afghanistan, a man, they say he stole 1,000 naira from somebody or a phone. He comes before you, they push him there. I was standing by, the police said, if you don't want to talk now, you are going inside that cell. I said, my friend, that's intimidation. You cannot do that to him. You've already found him guilty because you have the powers of coercion. So the system must change and rethink itself. I'm happy today that I'm here.
Maybe
men of conscience.
Maybe to solve this problem of policing and this problem of bruteness that is brought, maybe we need to change the name of the Nigerian police. Yes, maybe we need to remove force and just call it Nigerian police. The police will tell you the police is your friend, but honestly, are they really your friends?
Yeah,
but that brings us to how Nigerian police was formed. Remember that it was established, borrowed
to
from
brutalize Nigerians.
First of all, it was picked to know how it came from our.
You see, do you know that there are some lions now. Lion was made to eat meat, raw meat. Is it not so? But there are lions today that cannot eat raw meat because they are inside somewhere. They eat cooked meat.
Because they've been tamed.
So if they were brought to come and coerce and haranguing, manako people all around, for centuries you've been doing this, what have you gained? You are suffering people. So there should be a reorientation. It is only Nigeria see that you want to recruit police officers, you just post, you pick people from anywhere you see, you take them to barrack in Ikeja and Kano, and the next day they are on the street. In other crimes, for you to be a police, do you know what it is for you to say you are wearing a uniform of a police officer?
But Bryce Adams, I have a short step down conversation. But before then, it's how can we call this? I mean, how do we juxtapose this? If in the same breath we're doing this, but in the other breath we're releasing non-criminals who have killed people, destroyed villages in their numbers, and reincorporating them into the society again. That is the Boko Haram.
It's the systemic problem we are talking about.
They are being rehabilitated.
They rehabilitate criminals.
How?
That is what.
Do you rehabilitate an ideology?
You cannot rehabilitate an ideology. We have said that a man who took about 30 years of his life, because some of them were born into radicalism, a man who has been there. I gave an example for like myself. I was born a Muslim into a Muslim family. As I grew up to become I'm a Christian right now. But there are times in my life I sit down and when I hear the Muslim, shouting for prayers, I remember that, you understand? I can mutter, and quote some of those, Quranic, whatever the case may be. So when you radicalize a man who is radical for 30-something years, 40 years, and you now arrest him and you say you want to de-radicalize him in 2 days or 3 months of 60 days, you are making a fool of yourself. So that is the problem we are having. Who told you the man that you want to rehabilitate is not an information gatherer that will gather information and pass to those criminals to tell them the new ways you are trying to attack them?
All right. So, gentlemen, thank you so much.
There's one. You know that in law, there are people who call agent provocateurs. Agent provocateurs. People call them CID or whatever they call them, Abi? They come here and mix with criminals.
You not go know.
You not go know.
They go play with you, but they want to collect information.
The police call them spiders.
Spiders. I get my point. So I can just sorry, I don't surrender. I will not. I brought 40 AK-47. They capture me. I say I surrendered. They rehabilitate me, wear me uniform. I go into the camp. Now, inside that camp, I have access to telephone numbers. My men in the forest, I have their numbers off memory. So when I'm in my quiet moment, I ring them. I say, "See, this is what they are doing now." That is why the war cannot be won. So this is the situation we have in Nigeria. It's so sad.
All right, very quickly, I have someone in the studio, and I just thought to acknowledge him very quickly before we end the show. So a young man, out of pressing phone on social media, won himself an amazing gift. Wow. He got himself a brand new car. Winner is in the building. Winner, how are you doing? So it's interestingly, Winner is the brother to one of our own presenters here. Yes. And you know this thing Tunde Not does in his page that on my birthday we bring card, different states they give cars. And play, the thing enter players. I used to hear those things. When you say na line and game, they don't set up a winner, they don't set up. Yes, but we don't see the real winner now when they don't set up. So Winner, tell us about your story very quickly, please. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Winner of Hugo.
Interestingly, he won.
I won. So, thank you guys for having me. That day, it was like I've been saying, it wasn't something I planned. It wasn't an event that I planned to go to, but I just felt like I'd rather be outside trying to make a move than just staying at home. So I just went there with zero hopes of even winning a car, because to myself, I was like thinking, what would be the odds of me winning a car out of everybody here in Lagos State? Aww. So I just went there to just meet up with people and just have fun and just. But luckily, I heard my name. I'm still surprised till now.
Oh, wow.
So you have your brand new car,
wow. Yes.
Oh, how does this make you feel, really?
I feel okay. I'll say I feel happy, but at the same time, at this point of my life, I feel the most tensed and thoughtful, because I feel like this is the part in my life where I need to be the most calculative and wise, not just I'm excited, but I'm just trying not to make any mistake.
Okay, so you want to be deliberate.
Yeah, I want to be deliberate about everything I'm doing.
Nice. So were you following Tunde Not's page or something, and how did it? So you know about it? And
I've been following Tunde Not's page for years now. So I just saw it because he usually does his birthday giveaway every year.
Very soon I go grow rich to give card. Don't worry.
Amen. So I just felt like, okay.
How old are you, first of all?
I'm 20.
20. And by the way, it's an SUV he won. No,
you really?
I kid you not. It's Cha brand new.
Oh.
SUV.
That is serious.
Yeah.
In this economy.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats.
Can you drive?
No, not yet.
So how did you manage to pose in your car?
I just use and pose. But my mom was there, my elder brother was there, so they helped me drive it. So I'm still very grateful and thankful to Tunde Not, because it's not easy. I mean, doing just doing a giveaway for people who you have never even seen or met before, and I saw that an opportunity. That was why when I got on stage, the first thing I talked about was my career, which is music, because I'm a musician and a dancer.
Oh, you danced to get this?
Yeah, I danced.
And your dancing has made. Oh, congratulations! Congratulations, Lagos. That's the size of a package this evening.
Nice.
Winner of Fagbo is the winner of Tunde Not's Lagos birthday car giveaway, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Interestingly, your name is Winner, so if you say your name, they work for you.
Yes.
If you born, you go name the picking Winner too.
I'll go even
make it a win. They go
even pass Winner.
Excel.
Win.
All right, well done. And thank you so much, Mr. Kenobi, the fair gentleman. I appreciate you greatly for stopping by.
Welcome.
Prince Francis Chilaka, thank you so much. Thank you, I appreciate you. Barrister C. Madams, the astute barrister of the law. Thank you so much. People say, make I tell you, say they don't listen to grandma, drink water. Say they don't pay food this night. They don't need chop again. You serve dinner hot. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Lagos has the size of a package. We'll see you again on Monday. God willing, have yourself an amazing evening. My name is Precious Enyi. Please protect your mental health. I love you. Good night.